wanted to address the process. I hope that you feel that everyone who had the opportunity to weigh in on this did have the opportunity. I think you can tell by the comments of the board that we took this seriously. We went down to our dispatch center and spent time there and watched what went on and listened to people. A couple of us went off to Devon's, and it's an extremely professional operation. If anything, it's even more professional probably than Chelmsford is in terms of just the general demeanor. So you have very dedicated professionals there. But what does Chelmsford have? Chelmsford has professionals too. They may not be as professional as a well-run regional center, but they have something that I didn't see in Devon's, and that was camaraderie. It was not there. But, you know, they were very professional, and the world is going to regionalization. You know, why shouldn't we be up front and not at the back end of it? So there's a lot to say about that. Well, do I fear that the response times will probably fall a little behind? No, I don't think so after a period of startup. The MCOG report says that the people in Chelmsford will still be part of Chelmsford. You know, I asked the director who came in here from Devon's, who was extremely professional, and I would trust him to run any operation of similar size or even larger. And he said, no, that you know, it's best to cross-pollinate them so they can see other towns and they get expert in other towns. And if I was running it, I would do the same thing. And you know, which was counter to what was in that suggested plan of NEMCOG. You know, the whole idea of regionalization is coming in everything, because it's in business. The big get bigger all the time, and it's going to happen in this sooner or later. You know, I heard the arguments, well, should we be, you know, we'll miss the curve if we don't start early. We won't have a say. You know, I don't really believe that if you're the fourth one to join or the third one to join or the seventh one to join, then it's really going to be that much different. Yeah, a lot of things will already be said, but in general, I don't think it really makes a difference, my personal feeling. So we did our duty. I think everyone is, I don't think anyone is a 90-10 on this. Everybody is close. You know, it affects lives. You know, I would really expect that if we go forward with regionalization, that a number of the dispatchers will not go along. They don't want to go along. I think that they would hire anyone who applied, but I would think some of you will choose for your own reasons not to. And, you know, I vacation about 350 miles from here in Eastport, Maine, which is as far up the coast as you can go. And I was in an IGA, that's the only store in town, and there was a sergeant in there from the local police department. And they have maybe, I don't know, 1,500 people in the winter, and maybe 5,000 in the summer who are there for one reason or another. And so I told him who I was, and I told him what I was looking at in Chelmsford, and if he had any thoughts on it. And he said, you know, he said, we are part of a region, and he's part of a region which is Machias, which is about 45 miles away. And he said, yeah, it's okay. He said, but I was in 2 towns that had their own dispatch before I was here. And both towns, at different times, went and joined a region. And he said it didn't work out very well. That morale was not as good, and more importantly, there was no camaraderie among anyone, and they were always looking for people all the time. So, you know, we thank you for all your input. I hope you feel that the process was open. We listened to anyone who wanted to speak. We had in experts, the town manager from Dracut, the town manager from Tewksbury, the fire chief from Tewksbury. We had in the director of the Devon's operation, who stood here and took all kinds of questions. We had someone from the state in. So we tried to do our due diligence and learn as much as we can about a subject, which is public safety, that none of us are really experts in. But we did our best to try to learn and to go forward with the best plan for Chelmsford. Not necessarily for any other community, this is the only one that we care about right now. So with that, I would entertain a motion.
So I guess I'll make a motion not to move forward with regionalization of dispatch?
Not to go forward.
Not to go forward.
Do we have a second? I think it's supposed to be to join.
You want me to word it?
Then I'll make a motion if you want. Then I'll make a motion that we join the North and Middlesex Regional Emergency Call Center.
Thank you, Pat. Do we have a second?
It's gonna be 3-2. Betting now. I will second. It'll be a 3-2 vote. I will second.
All right, we have a first and a second. Do we have a discussion? All right, I think this is a pretty important issue. I think we should vote independently. Pat, do you want to go first?
Yes,
That we should join.
yes.
Ken?
No.
That we should not join.
You should not join.
George?
No.
We should not join.
Correct.
Emily?
I think we should.
All right, I believe in regionalization, but I don't believe it's the right time to do it.